Thank you for tuning in to the Hope.Strength.Courage podcast, love and support for parents whose kids are fighting for their lives. A weekly podcast created to support parents and caregivers of children diagnosed with cancer, where you will find resources collected to help you face each day with hope, strength, and courage. From interviews with the top experts in their fields, doctors, psychologists, chaplains, and inspiring frontline workers in pediatric oncology as they share their best advice, as well as day-to-day advice collected from other cancer moms and leaders in personal growth and development. From individuals who understand how hard it can be, I hope you will feel better prepared to cope with the day-to-day challenges of caring for your child. Hi, I am Laura Lane, and I am your host. My own daughter Celeste was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 12. In 2015, I wrote about our experiences in the book, Two Mothers, One Prayer, Facing Your Child's Cancer with Hope, Strength, and Courage. Since that time, I have dedicated thousands of hours to share with other parents and caregivers the resources, tools, tips, and skills and strategies I learned that helped our family stay happier, healthier, and more hopeful. My goal is to share with you my interviews with experts to support you as you care for a child with cancer. This week, before I introduce today's interview, I'd like to tell you about the projects I've been working on to better support you as a cancer parent and the sponsor partners who are helping to make it happen. I am most excited to tell you about our partnership with Royal Bank of Canada and Ronald McDonald House Charities, South Central Ontario, where we are donating 100 copies and launching our Stronger Daily Planner for the most amazing moms on the planet. Everything you need to stay sane while caring for a child with cancer. A daily, weekly, monthly tracker for all things childhood cancer related. A planner to keep track of diagnosis, treatment plans, symptoms, medications, reactions, food intake, blood count tracker, plus everything else you need to keep track of for your family at home. If you would like to learn more or inquire about how to order your copy or how to sponsor copies for families at your local hospital, please visit our website, strongerplanner.com. This project has been made possible with the funding help of the Royal Bank of Canada, Ronald McDonald House Charities, South Central Ontario, to help us to distribute the planners, the design expertise of Mockingbird Designs, and impressive printing in Hamilton, Ontario. Our other exciting news is our 30-minute free webinar series, Coping Skills for Cancer Moms, hosted every Friday at 12 p.m. North American Eastern Time. I hope you will join me each week as I cover one of 7 pillars to living with grace and ease. My goal is to share the valuable skills I learned when our daughter Celeste was diagnosed, give you a short activity to help you to apply the skill, then open things up for questions, all in less than 30 minutes. If you are struggling right now, this might be just what you need to help you feel loved and supported and give you the strength you need to carry on one more day, one more week, one more month. To learn more, please visit my website, lauralane.ca. Now for today's episode, which features part 3 of my interview with NLP practitioners Jacquie, Nagy, and Ed Olvera. In part 1 and 2, Jacquie and Ed gave us an overview of Neuro Linguistic Programming, NLP, and we discussed how to use NLP and breathing to manage daily stress. Jacquie shared her 4 steps to shift from overwhelm to intentional, resourceful living, and 3 of her 10 daily habits to start her day. This week, Ed continues the conversation about what we can do when we are in overwhelm, how to move from one state to another, and he will be sharing an amazing guided meditation with us. I hope you will enjoy this interview as much as I did. I am pleased to formally introduce you to Ed Olvera and Jacquie Nagy. Edward has been working in behavioral health, social work, and life coaching fields for the past 4 decades. He met John Grinder in 1983 with an initial training in the patterns of hypnosis and the genius of Dr. Milton Erickson. In 1989, he was introduced to the new code NLP in a residential practitioner training in Syracuse, California, and later participated in trainer trainings and coacher certifications. He has worked in a wide array of settings, including schools, wilderness programs, hospitals, social services, outpatient clinics, and private practice. In 2016, Edward launched a life coaching practice, Choice Inspirations, a service to help you to become your best you. Jacquie Nagy is the Be Yourself coach. She's a professional speaker and member of the Canadian Association of Professional Speakers, CAPS Manitoba, a certified new coach, Neuro Linguistic Programmer, master and trainer adult educator and coach. Jacquie shares the how-to practice tools so people can gracefully coach themselves under pressure. Jacquie is the owner of the Holistic Directions Incorporated, offering live NLP certification trainings to give individuals, coaches, leaders, and parents the life-changing skills that no one ever shows you to live a more happy and authentic life. Jacquie's mission is to flip the model of teaching the theoretical what and why in the field of self-development into teaching the practical how-to skills so that families can live more healthier, holistic, and autonomous lives.
Now I want to do a little bit of a visualization or a kind of a relaxation visualization, and I'm wondering if I could engage you, Laura, as the person.
I'll be
So great. And I hope you're comfortable with closing your eyes. You don't have to. It's not an absolute requirement. But if you would like to close your eyes for a moment. That's right, and take a nice deep breath. Notice the sensations of the way you sit, the posture you're in, the particular sensations of your arms, your legs, feet on the ground. Noticing what you might be visualizing, sound of my voice, perhaps remembering a conversation, the sounds of nature, and how you feel. And in what you see, the brightness, perhaps the color, the dimensions, noticing your tension versus your ease, allowing yourself to breathe. Finding that sense of comfort, or a time where you felt reassured in a difficult time. Perhaps hearing some encouraging words, the tone of voice, voice tone. Perhaps you can think in whatever ways are most suitable to you to essentially say it's okay to feel comfort. You feel a sense of ease. Hope. Relaxation. Reassurance. Remembering that your source of strength becomes a foundation for the people around you. Your children. That's right. To allow yourself to be reassured know that you are worthwhile, loving, committed to being there for yourself and those you love. That's right. Shift around, think about that. The colors, the sounds, the time you may have had in some setting of nature, perhaps holding a hand, touch of some sort. Sense of knowing that no matter what, that you will find your way through in the most beneficial way to all concerned. And to remember to take that time out, to take that break, to know that investing in, committing to your sense of well-being allows you to be your best, to give your most in the most intelligent way. With that, if you want to remember to take that nice deep breath as you open your eyes. So to take these moments of time out, to take this break from the responsibilities, the demands that we all have, I think so important. And you know, in one, you know, another metaphorical way to talk about this is the way in which we condition ourselves for a sport or just for basically being healthy. That the act of conditioning ourselves has benefits that you know, that we enjoy well beyond the actual activity, whatever it is, whatever we choose to do. So, you know, with what we're doing with NLP, New Code NLP, is to help people with that aspect of what I kind of think of that conditioning that then plays into the various contexts that we, you know, deal with from day to day. I work in emergency rooms, and Jackie was referring to this earlier, you know, being able to be in that state of calm or that state of relaxation, but alert is the place, is the kind of state to be in when you're in that setting and you provide the highest quality of service to the people that you're helping. So I think that's so much of what you know, is demanded, certainly in situations with parents that are managing their child that's ill, as well as their, you know, the other children that might be in the family, their spouse, extended family members. All of that is very demanding. How do you kind of keep your head above water? But more than that, how do you in one sense, thrive despite the level of challenge?
Yeah, that's the key. That really is the key. Thank you very much.
Yes. You have any thoughts, Jackie?
Not about the actual exercise which you did, which was so lovely. I was following along as well. I think it's universal. I think in so many situations in our life, no matter what the challenge is, having the access to be able to shift our own state through having prior conditioning. And conditioning comes through practice. And so one of the sayings in NLP is NLP is all about practicing. So it's practice, practice, and when you have a little bit more time, even if it's a few seconds, practice. And the practice develops the conditioning that then when we enter into a really stressful, high intense situation, we're more likely to fold into a more resourceful state. It's there. It's not new to us. It's a very it's like we know it. We know that resourceful state so well, and we just immediately. I liken it to when I started, a little quick metaphor when I cross country ski. My first couple of years of skiing were just horrific. There's a lot of pain in cross country skiing, physical pain. And when I got good at it, I often would go after a really stressful day or a stressful week. And there was this thing that happened as soon as my foot clicked into the ski. And a whole physiological shift would happen. And the conditioning from the years before of out there practicing on the snow and falling and getting up and, would kick in. And I would just start gliding. And at that point, cross-country skiing is very challenging. It became really fun, and I started to understand the concept and the structure of human experience in that manner and how we can use that in everyday situations, how we do, in fact, have access to these more resourceful states. And the more we practice the resourceful states, the more they'll override the unresourceful ones, if that makes sense.
With what you're saying about practicing, with your permission, Edward, I would love to, what you just took me through, I'd love to cut that part of the interview and make that available to parents so they could listen to it over and over and over again. With your permission, would that be okay?
Absolutely.
That would be terrific. So they can listen to, of course, the whole interview, but if they want to go back to that one piece, then I'll make that available to parents as an added resource.
Sounds great, yeah. And I'd be happy to provide anything else along those lines if you'd like.
Terrific.
Outside of it.
And we will send them to your website so they can look for things like that as well. So is there anything else that you would like to share with parents before we finish up?
About the workshop we're doing in Winnipeg, perhaps?
So we'll get into those details in just one second. But if there were any other keywords, I just wanted to make sure we had covered the 4 topics that you wanted to cover. Did we cover everything? Or is there anything additional?
Well, I think my additional sort of thought here as we talk through this is, get a hug. Get a lot of hug.
Yeah.
Hug, I think that's a really important thing to happen. Hug your children, hug your loved ones, your spouse, your everyone.
I love that, Edward. I want to point out, a friend of mine taught me how to hug in a really different way. And where you hold on to the person you're hugging long enough where your breathing begins to synchronize. Yeah. And it really helps you calm down, or even if you're both getting into it, when you're both, not breathing all that well. When the breathing starts to really get a rhythm together with this person, sometimes it only takes about 30 seconds. And it's a really great state changer, and it serves so many other intentions as well. I love that.
I know sometimes as parents, when I was in the hospital with my daughter, I can remember when we first started her first round of chemo, and it was so intense, and I felt so overwhelmed. But I was able to leave her room, Celeste's room, for a few minutes and find a nurse.
And she is a nurse that is just, I still love her, and she's been phenomenal too, but I will always remember the day that I went out in the hallway and she just gave me a hug. And that I think we need to remember that we can do that with strangers, that there are people who want to be there for us, and that nurses are excellent tools there, that they've been through all this. They've seen this over and over the daily basis. They know what it is that what we're going through with our children and with ourselves, like us ourselves, the feelings, emotions, that they want to be there for us, that nurses and the staff at places like Ronald McDonald House, social workers, the child life specialists, they're all there for us. That they can be a great resource to just ask for a hug.
Yeah, to know that you're deserving and worthwhile as you do that, and to suspend any kind of self-talk that would say otherwise.
Yeah. So thank you so much for everything that you've been sharing with us today. So we'd like to end with my final question always is, what website can we send our audience to so that they can learn more about you and your work and the things that you'll be doing?
Well, Everett and I worked together on a workshop in Winnipeg that we hope to eventually deliver in other parts of North America. And so if you would like more information about that, it's called New Code NLP for kids and parents too. Mm-hmm. And the way to get that information is to go to my website, which is www.holisticdirections.com. Now, there's a long string after that, but I understand that's going to be on the webinar for parents to, rather than me read it out.
Yeah, we'll make sure that that link is right there above our below our interview, so people can click on it. So,
and also, if parents would like to sign up for my newsletter, it would be holisticdirections.com// of course, the word news, and then they can sign up there. Mm-hmm. And there they will receive a free MP3 on the 11 top tools for success in life. And also I'm putting together a special report, if you will, for the parents in the 10 steps for the morning regime. Mm-hmm. that I would like to share just to this particular group. Mm-hmm. And so if you would like that, then parents can email me, jnagy@holisticdirections.com. Okay. And I will send that out privately, one by one.
So that's the letter J, NAGY at holistic, what was that again? Directions.
Directions.com.
Okay, terrific. Great. We'll make sure that we have that available too. So thank you so much, both of you. It's been such a pleasure. I'm so glad that you have really opened my eyes to what NLP is really about, because I've heard it thrown around so many times, but I really couldn't understand it. And you're helping me to get more clarity on that. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Pleasure. And perhaps we will see you in Winnipeg in November.
That would be wonderful. I wish I hope I can put that into my schedule. If not this November, then maybe a future time. So,
okay.
Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you.
I love the guided meditation or visualization that Ed shared with us during this interview. That, combined with the reminders both Jacquie and Ed gave to take time to practice the tools we have learned, and of course, hugs. Get lots of hugs. To learn more about Jacquie and Ed, please visit their website at holisticdirections.com. Please join me next week for my interview with Dr. Wendy Ulrich as we discuss how cognitive behavior therapy can help us become more hopeful. Before we end our show today, we have one last segment. Over the last few years, I have asked other cancer moms what advice they had wished they had known when their child was first diagnosed. I have compiled that information and will be sharing their advice each week. You can download the top 101 pieces of advice that I put together as a mini ebook at twomothers1prayer.com. Today's advice comes from Pamela. She said, I was thinking about this the other day. Stay positive, but don't hide from others how hard it is. Every time someone offers to help, say yes. Take time for yourself. Ask questions. The doctors and nurses don't know everything. This is your child. That's great advice. Thank you, Pamela, for sharing that. If you have advice you have learned along the way that you wish someone had told you weeks, months, or years earlier, I invite you to fill out the contact form on our website, twomothers1prayer.com, and I will be sharing your advice with our listeners on future shows. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule today to listen to the Hope.Strength.Courage podcast. I look forward to sharing more experts and advice with you again next Wednesday. Please remember to take a minute to subscribe to the show. Thanks also need to go out to our Hope.Strength.Courage production team, which consists of my wonderful assistant Tracy Ogilvy McDonald, Andrew Braun at Braun Audio and Audio Geek, music by Fizz Anthony, social media support by Marife Constantino, and graphic design by Amy Hosmer. To learn more about myself, Laura Lane, and to order my book, please visit lauralane.ca.